Namaste, my warriors, and welcome to Universal Goddess Tarot. Like, share, subscribe, donate. Donations are always appreciated, and I'm always grateful for them. I have a Cash App now, guys, so if you want to leave me, any kind of a little donation, everything is absolutely appreciated, and I'm grateful for that. Give the thumbs up. Let's share the channel. Let's, I'm trying to get out there. And everything that you do, whether you leave a comment, thumbs up, absolutely everything is appreciated. Okay. Try to get the cards in. All right. Couple of announcements. Now, I've been talking about you have to watch your food for this Thanksgiving. I fumbled the ball. I was poisoned. I believe it's thallium, right? Acid. Because after I made my dinner, which I was cooking for 2 days, okay, me and my daughter, and the pork shoulder, I put it in at 5 in the morning. And in doing that, I go back upstairs, I take a little bit of a nap, and I keep coming down to baste it and everything. But as you can see, you're not sitting there with it and watching it 24/7, right? So my food was tainted. And I believe they put the thallium in the food. Because once I made my plate of food, I started getting chest pains, stomach pains. I went to the bathroom to do number 2. And there was blood coming out. Blood like if I had my period. And I was, I started crying because it was upsetting because I'm out here putting a message. Everybody be careful for Thanksgiving because they plan on trying to take you out, right? Watch your food and drink. And here I am. I didn't, it's not like I wanted to sit there 24/7 and watch this thing cook. How she could have did it. Of course, I went back to bed, every hour and a half I would get up to baste the meat. Walk my dogs, right? The food's left, make my rice, the mashed potatoes, the candy yams, the turkey, everything was being cooked while I have to go outside, I have to walk my dogs, and unfortunately my food was tainted. So I go to serve. Nobody else wanted to eat. So that to me was unusual. So not to mention that I got a message from their father. Right? Now, every time he gives me these messages, right? He sends me pictures of him with my son, right? And then he sends me this one, which he knows that they've murdered in previous videos, I've let you know that my parents were murdered by poison, right? So he sends me this. This was right before they passed. So he sends me this picture, and the message, he always does this. He goes, I thought you might like this, to have this picture. It's beautiful, right? Happy Thanksgiving. Sorry I won't bother you. I really wanted to say happy anniversary, but I know you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear that, so I'll stop, right? But every single time this man sends me messages, something goes on with my food. So he sent my daughter to poison my food, right? There's another message here. Look. This message says, I know you don't believe anything I have to say, but sometimes holding grudges can eat away at your heart. And when he says that, it kind of got to me because when thallium, it actually eats at your organs, right? So when he says it eats away at your heart, right? And souls, please don't let you be one of them. And please don't let yours be one of them. They tell on themselves when they're writing these messages, okay? Don't let bad things cloud your mind, right? Judgment. This is him saying that because remember, these hospitals are trying to say you're delusional, you're suicidal. Meanwhile, you've never been to a psychiatrist, never been delusional in your life. It doesn't run in your family. You're not taking any psychotic drugs or anything. But here he says, don't let, it says, has a mind of its own, doesn't want... Please don't let the bad things cloud your mind or judgment. You know? So they tell on themselves when they're doing this because, you know, even though I'm going through that right now with the pain in my chest and in my stomach and in my stool, there's blood, right? And I mean enough blood that it looked like I had my period. I'm sorry to say that. So it is thallium. You know, I knew because my hair was falling out. I was doing my research online, like what poisons could be tasteless, odorless, and colorless. So you can't see it when they sprinkle it in your food or it's in your drink, but you'll feel it later. I mean, the pain is unbearable. It's a terrible pain, right? But if you're a light being, it won't take you out like it would them. Okay? They don't realize that no matter what they try and do, the poisons or toxins, you're going to be fine, right? I can't go to the hospital anymore because I went on Friday. On Friday, I went to St. John's. On Saturday, on Friday, I went to St. Joseph, which they decided to write on there that I was delusional. On Saturday, I went to St. John's Riverside, and they started saying, oh, that, you know, to be careful, we won't want you to commit suicide. What? And then on Monday, I decided to go to Montefiore, 111 East in the Bronx, right? And they decided also to tell... I went in there, look, before I went to that Montefiore, I called up and I said, do you test for thallium? And she goes, yeah, we test the levels. I called the emergency room department. So I already let them know what it was I was going in there to be tested for. Okay, so I said, great. So can I go in there and I can be tested for this because it could be in my lotions or my shampoos. Like I believe somebody could have put this in my stuff because my eyes were burning like fire, right? She goes, yeah, we can test for the levels. And this is someone from the emergency room department. So I go, okay, great. I'm going to be there. I'm going to go get tested for this. What happens when I get there? They have done something to your medical records, right? They forged documents in your medical records. So they put something already. There's something in your medical records that's stating that you're delusional. You could be suicidal because this is what they want to get away with. They want to get away with whatever they've poisoned you with to make it look like suicide or to make it look like, you know, in some way you were delusional or upset or whatever. And we're not. We know what we're talking about. We know what we're going through. We know what they've done to us, you know. This is just their way, how they've been getting away with putting these false documents as life insurance policies, right? They forged life insurance policies because I've never signed one in my life. Never signed anything for any life insurance policy. They forged documents. They've stayed with your inheritance. Thank you. It's confirmation. They've stayed with your inheritance that they owed you, and they've lost those cases in court, guys. Okay, so if they're battling that in court, they've lost the case. It is what it is. They got to pay you all that money back, and they can't. They're going to end up either going in prison or they're going to end up offing themselves because they don't want to be in prison, because they know that when they go to prison, other people that they have murdered, they're going to know why they're in prison, and they're going to end up dead in prison anyway. So either way, it's death or prison. This is their choices, okay? Because they've done this to many family members. They've taken out almost whole families, doing mind control and having people put poisons in their own families. And later on, these people don't even realize that they've done that. That they've poisoned their entire family and off their brother, their sister, their nephew, whole families. Whole families. So they know that when they go to prison, they're going to have to pay for that. And people are going to know what they've done. So they don't want to pay your money back. So this is the way of trying to off you, right? Even though we know we're going to make it through this, it's still painful. It still hurts. It hurts me. I spent 2 days cooking for them. And nobody else ate. Excuse me. I ate a big giant plate of food. I ate the pork shoulder that the thallium most likely is in, because I had that in the oven at 5 in the morning. And she could have went there any time between and sprinkled that in there. And there it is. And the thing that hurts me is I gave some to my dogs. So I noticed them, they were having a hard time coming up the stairs. And that's difficult to see, you know. It hurts. It hurts. But I know that the divine has my back. I know that the higher ups are looking down and they have this situation under control. I know that in reality I'm going to be okay. I'm going to make it. Because this isn't the first time they've done this, okay? I've ingested it. I've had it on my skin. It hurts either way, guys. You know, and the thing is, I was telling you guys to be careful out there with your food and drink. And either way, I had to go walk my dog. She was going to put it in my food anyway. Either way, like there was no way I could do that. You know, I sat down and ate my food, but before I sat down and ate it, it was already in the pan, you know. And remember I kept telling you something about the pan. Something about the food in the pan. And yeah, the meat with the pork shoulders in a pan, right? So she sprinkled it in the pan. And I ate it. And so far, I'm the only one who ate Thanksgiving. Everybody was locked up in their rooms. They didn't even want to come out. You know, I was knocking on the doors like, come on, dinner's ready. Everybody gonna eat. No, everybody was too busy doing whatever they were gonna do. So that's where I'm at. You know, I went to these, I can't go to the hospital, right? Because the hospitals already think, one hospital thinks I'm delusional. Another one thinks I'm suicidal. The other one thinks I'm in there, you know, trying to off myself. I wanted to make sense. If I go in there and I already called and I asked you that I want to be tested for thallium because I believe somebody put this in my products, why would you think that I'm suicidal if I'm trying to save myself? Like, make that make sense. It doesn't make sense. The whole thing. Like, I asked the hospital, why would you think I'm suicidal? Like, I want to understand that. I've never seen a psychiatrist in my life. So I want to understand, where do you get that from? She goes, well, it looks like your doctor gave you some sort of a medication for depression or for what? My doctor has never prescribed me anything. So let me tell you something. Don't think that I was not, the next morning, I was not calling up my doctor's office, finding out. I want to know what kind of medication do I have for depression or anxiety or something like that going on. Like, did she put something there because I've never gotten anything from her for her to say that she was giving me some sort of a psychotic medicine for psychotic episodes, you know? Maybe to calm you down, whether Valium or whatever. No, nothing. I called the office and she wasn't in that day. But her, you know, the workers there said, look, I'm looking at your medication. There's nothing here that states that. And I'm going, well, this hospital, they were thinking that I'm delusional and that I'm suicidal. And I've never showed any kind of signs of that. I never saw a psychiatrist in my life. So where are they getting this information? Because they're saying it's from her. And she was like, there's nothing here. So that sounds really fishy. And she goes, I'm sorry that you're going through that. But she goes, it's not from us. And it would have to be from your doctor, right? Prescribing you some sort of a psychotic medicine for these episodes, the depression, anxiety, right? So there it is. So they're messing with your medical records. They're falsifying information and putting falsified information in your medical records. And that's why these hospitals don't even want to test you for anything, because they think you're delusional. And I'm saying, if you're going in trying to save yourself, why would you take it as suicidal? Thank you, confirmation. You know? So I'm telling you guys, something's like, I've told you before, they have these higher ups, you know, they're judges and lawyers and officers and FBI agents, internal affair agents, doctors and nurses, and they, remember, they pay for these, for them to get these certificates, okay, to be a doctor and a lawyer. And then they have to, when it's time for them to step in and they need them, they step in and start falsifying information on their behalf. Okay, these secret societies, these covens, okay? Because never have I ever had a psychotic episode. Never have I ever decided that I'm going to try killing myself. I love myself. I love life. I want to be here old age. That's what I've been talking about. I've been talking about trying to keep people on this earth so that we can cure sicknesses and illnesses right? To do good for a better earth, for a better world. I've never thought about killing myself. I want to be here. I want to be part of the future. I want to be part of bringing up humanity, right? That's what we're here for. That's what we got these pages on, to help one another, to uplift one another. We're not here to be suicidal and kill people. We're trying to save people. So to me, it's like, make that make sense. If I'm coming in here and I called already to find out about being tested for thallium, and you said, yes, we checked for the levels. And I said, great. Okay, I'm going to come in because I believe something's been put in my products and I'm starting to feel effects on it. So I just want to be tested for this. Why would you test my kidney? They gave me a whole bunch of other tests other than the one test that I came in there to ask for. So you deny me my medical attention in order to cover up what you've done. Because they don't want people to know that this is how they're killing off people, by putting thallium in their food and drink. Okay, guys? You know what? Let me see if I can... I want you to know how to spell it, so just in case you guys look it up. Because there's a few poisons in here that are tasteless, odorless, and colorless, right? Thallium, Thallium, cannot be detected in post-mortem. So this is why they want to get away with this. Because once you're dead, it won't show up. It won't show up in your blood. Okay? There's also arsenic, right? Odorless, colorless, and tasteless. That's another one. Arsenic. Cyanide poisoning. Cyanide, right? It puts, with cyanide poisoning, you would have extra oxygen in your blood. All right, that would be a way for them to find out that is how they've tried to kill you. Polonium, Polonium, 210, polonium 210. That's also something like thallium. It makes your hair fall out. Like, I did my research, guys. Ethylene glycol. Ethyllene, glycol, Glycol, right? That's what you put in the car. That it tastes sweet, so they could put that in your drink. Confirmation. And oleander is a plant. Oleander. Oleander. That's also something that they could put in your drink or food. And these are some of the poisons that are undetectable, that most hospitals and most places don't test for. And the thallium it hit me really hard. Like I kept hearing it over, and I don't know what it was. So I had to do my research on it to find out that that's what it was that they're putting in my drink. So if I ask the hospital to take this one test to save myself, why would I be suicidal? This is what gets me. Why would I be suicidal if I'm trying to save myself? That doesn't make sense. Like, make sense of what's going on. And if you're falsifying medical documents, even these hospitals can go down, all right? Once you get that money, you're going to be able to sue how many people? Lawyers, judges, right? The ones that's supposed to give you your money, right? What is that? The probate lawyers? Yeah, you're gonna be able to sue them. You're gonna be able to sue the banks, right? Because they had people going in there that were impersonating you, and they gave them your money. They're all connected. Everybody had a handout. Everybody was, right. These trust and deed lawyers, the probate estate lawyers, all of them. You get to sue all of these people, all of the people. So just the money that you got, oh no, you're gonna have way more than that. Your lawyer is gonna have a feast, and your money's overseas. They still bank accounts overseas, all right? You get those checks, they put them in different accounts overseas, trying to hide it and get away with that. It's never gonna happen. You already won. You already won. They were in court and you already won. They have to pay you your money now, and they don't want to. That's why I told you Thanksgiving, Christmas, they're gonna want to take you out because you already won this war. They just don't want to give it up. They just don't want to give it up. No matter what, they don't want to give up what they've taken from you. The houses that they bought, the cars that they bought, all of that has to be returned. All of it. They have to sell the houses. The houses and the cars will be confiscated. There's going to be raids going on. They're going to bust into these places. They hopefully right now, while they're having Thanksgiving dinner, where they know they're going to catch the group right there all at once, right? For the murders that they have committed with this thallium and this arsenic poisoning. Yeah, they're all going down for that. Because the bodies that they were unable to cremate, they're exhuming those bodies as we speak. Those bodies are being tested right now. And even some of them that they've done blood work to, right? Because the hospitals don't know, but they did do blood work. There's levels that they look for that's going to tell them that that's exactly what they died of. So they're not getting away with nothing. Nothing. They're going to jail for a long, 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 long time. And the thing is, it's jail or death. Thank you, Spirit. It's jail or death, because they know that the families that they have murdered these people are in prison. And when they go to prison, they're not going to make it through prison. Put it that way. Because everybody's going to know what they've done. They're going to feel like you offed my entire family doing that. They're not going to make it. I'm telling you guys, they're not going to make it. So they don't want to go to prison, and they don't want to go to jail. I mean, and they don't want to, they don't want to die. So they're trying to off you, finish you off. That's why I said to be careful for Thanksgiving and Christmas. This is what they're doing. For Christmas, I'm making me a tuna sandwich. How about that? I'm not making any dinner for nobody. I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going through this pain. Because even though they're not going to kill us, it won't kill us. All right? If you're a light being, it won't kill us. Right? It's funny because the card I got here says vegan. And they kept telling to eat better, eat more vegetables, eat more, get away from the meat. I'm a meat eater. I love meat. And it's funny, the first card that came out says vegan. These cards I had already pulled. Some reason, this is now the second time I try making this video, because the first video that I thought I was on, the camera, it didn't record. So I don't know what happened. And the camera was on. So, and it's digital. So they're messing with all your electronics, right? Because when I was calling 911, I had to call like 3 times before watching my daughter kept hanging up my phone from her phone. Because they have your phones and your equipment cloned, right? So they know what phone calls are coming in. They know about everything. You're not getting your phone calls. You're not getting your mail. You don't get none of your documents. They falsified documents, falsified information. They think they're going to get away with this, and they're not. They're not. They're going to have to pay it all back. And they're all going to prison. The more people that they get involved, they're all going to prison. Even the newcomers that came in not knowing what they're doing, that they're impersonating you to go to these overseas accounts. Because they get somebody different in every different bank account to empty out those accounts, right? Because they put those checks overseas. So this is how they do it. They have to put those checks overseas because those checks come in your name. And then they get someone to impersonate you, right? Because they've given them their false documents where they've stolen your Social Security, your birth certificate, and they falsified documents, right? And they go out there and they go pick up these checks. And they don't realize that at the end, they will all be taken down. All of those accounts are being watched. Absolutely everyone. And their accounts have been frozen because they have to pay you back that money. So all of their accounts have been frozen and they're mad at that. So yeah, they want to off you. And I did, like I said, I cooked my pork shoulder at 5 in the morning. So I knew it was the pork shoulder that they put it in, because that was something that I put in the oven and I went back to bed. Womp womp, right? So, and I had to go walk my dog. How many times, I walked my dog before they sprinkled that all over inside of the pan. I don't know what's going on with my camera, but it's about to shut down. So namaste, my warriors. Stand strong, okay? I'm going to make another video. I got to charge the camera. So be careful out there. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I love you. Blessings. Much love, guys. Namaste. Have a happy Thanksgiving.